Hey guys, it's February 14th today, and a couple of things I just wanted to comment on real quick from our reading. We are at the end of Matthew, very close to the very end of Matthew 28 and verse 16. After the resurrection, says that then the 11 disciples went to Galilee, to the mountain where Jesus had told them to go. When they saw him, they worshipped him, but some doubted. I think I just want to comment on that quickly. When they saw him, they worshipped him, but some doubted. Yeah, it seems a little odd that even after the resurrection, even if they're seeing Jesus in person, knowing that he had been dead and buried and then resurrected, there's still some doubt among them. And I think there's a couple of things to notice from that. First of all, there's hope for all of us because I think most of us at least experience doubt. I've come across some in my life who've said they don't ever doubt, but I think for most of us, doubt is a reality. And what Scripture, I think a couple of things are important here. First of all, it acknowledges this doubt, which I think is something that tells us that this is actually an accurate account of what's happening. It doesn't gloss over the fact that there were some who were doubting even after the resurrection. It also portrays people as they actually are, that there are people who still doubt, even in the face of a lot of overwhelming evidence, even something that they can touch and feel. Jesus will say a number of times that those are who have not seen and yet believe are even more blessed than those who have seen and then believe. So I think there's something instructive about that, that Scripture would reveal our doubts to us, that it would deal with, that it wouldn't minimize it, wouldn't ignore it, but would include it as part of the actual experience. So this is, I think, historically authentic. It would make sense that there was still some who doubted, even though it doesn't make sense, even though it would seem they should have enough evidence too. And then Proverbs 9:10 says, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and knowledge of the Holy One is understanding." And so it's actually something that needs to be in place before belief and wisdom are possible, and that is the fear of the Lord. And so something about God's sovereignty that He causes some to believe while others don't, and the participation of that in fearing the Lord, having a reaction to it that is, I think, a reaction of knowledge and obedience and awe. All of those things are encapsulated and more in the fear of the Lord. And so, is it possible to have faith or to have lack of doubt, except for having the fear of the Lord and the beginning of wisdom and knowledge of the Holy One that is given to us by God? That is understanding, that is faith, and I think there's something involved in human participation in that too, something mysterious that happens that causes us to react and cooperate with the Spirit as He reveals God to us in such a way that we can come to a place of belief. So, some when they saw Him, some they worshipped Him, but some doubted. And I wonder even if those who are doubting are included here among those who worshipped Him. Sometimes we come to worship as an act of obedience, or maybe an act of pressure from our society without a true commitment of faith, or like the Father says to Jesus, "I believe, help my unbelief," and that's an act of worship too. So quite a bit going on with that, but a beautiful statement there, I think, at this late stage of Matthew's Gospel.